Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the free-to-play account and we are on the test server looking at the Isle of Gold. So one thing I absolutely love about the test server is we do have the ability to come in here, run a lot of trials, see how everything works, and ultimately see what is going to be the most beneficial before we put it up on the live server. So a couple of things that I want to note in here that I'm hoping you will find very beneficial is when you're setting this up, this functional building, the shipyard. So once you have the shipyard, guys, anytime that you pillage another player, so when you go to pillage, you actually appear on this little mark right here, which means these two buildings, this defensive building that he has right here, as well as the prayer flower right here, are not going to affect me because of where I'm coming in. So you can actually build this a little bit different, which let's see if another player does have this set up a little bit different. Oh, I didn't want to actually pillage. I wanted to skip on that one. Let's see if we can find a player that has it set up a little different. So this one, he has resources. So if I pillage this one, boom, you're going to get the resources and you're get them for free coming right in here because I'm assuming because either one, they don't know how to set it up, or two, they just want to be completely pillaged. It's only level 4 at this point. So we can pillage, we can put whatever heroes we want in here. We could even try our Graveborn team. Big thing with this is you can just do this over and over, so you can actually just reset it, which is kind of a cheese way to do it, but you can actually just stop and you can, maybe you can't reset it. That would be very cool. I didn't know you could not reset it, but there we go. We got Pharrell built. Most of the pillages do succeed here. So that's one of the reasons. So there we go. So we get a couple rewards. So now because I fought this place, I don't think that's a successful defense because obviously I won. But you're very limited. Production is halted until it heals. I'm not sure how long it takes to heal, but we can go around here. We can pillage. Now looking at some of the resources, and this is the other thing that I wanted to look at, is the way this is set up. So when we come into this, we're actually going to drop right in here. We're going to get hit right off the bat with the level 12 Bloodstone. When pillagers step here, they're weakened and their heroes receive damage is increased to 30%. In addition, after stepping here, heroes have minus 30% health at the start of next battle. So the ability to defend right off the bat is pretty high because when it comes to the next battle, they are going to get this debuff. So the way that I like to build it is probably building this side up with some defenses. Because ultimately, when it comes to some of your other buildings, such as the defensive building here, when pillagers step here, they are weakened and their heroes receive damage that increased by 25%. When stepped on, 2 random heroes are imprisoned. Right here, when stepped on, all heroes previously used are imprisoned. So knowing the functionality of the building, this is a building I would move a little bit further in, or I would want to put it next to one of my resource buildings. That way I know that if they use a team, it's not going to be able to be used again. Because remember, when you're going around this, you can only attack these resource buildings. You cannot attack anything else like the Crimson Flowers. The stones you cannot attack. You can only attack the resource buildings. So ultimately you want to stack defenses around the resource building, especially if one, it is a defensive building like the Bloodstone that is going to affect the next battle. So you cannot have multiple effects, but if they roll 2 or 3 times and then actually get over here to my Labyrinth Exchange, and this is the next battle, they are going to be in a good deficiency rating position. Some of the other defensive buildings, the Inertia Stone or an Inertia Stone. One stepped on next dice roll -2 or -3. Plus, when pillagers step here, they're weakened. Their heroes receive damage increased by 22.5. So even though they do take additional damage or they're weakened, this is a building that I'm not sure, not 100% on this, and I would definitely like to know is if we put this building here, when you first come in, is it going to take 3 dice rolls right off the bat? Now, remember, because a lot of this is based on defense, that is right, guys, a lot of this is based on defense. This is a building you actually do not want to build for the simple fact you want them to pillage you. And when you get pillaged, you're hoping that you can successfully defend. As you can see, successful defense 4 attempts. So we have successfully defended a couple times right here, defense. We do have a couple down here for defense. So ultimately, taking out this defensive building, again, you do not want to use it because you want more dice rolls. You want to give the enemy more opportunities to go ahead and attack you without mitigating the dice rolls. Even though I know the damage they receive is pretty solid, but you want your heroes or you want your resource buildings to be attacked. And the more that they're attacked, the better, because every attack is going to give you the opportunity of possibly being able to defend the attack. And again, that's really what you want to. That's why we do all of the testing here over on the test server. Prayer Flower goes to level 10 right there. And I want to finish out my rolls. That way we can show you kind of the redesign feature. And another thing that I've really noticed here, boom, so Prayer Flower goes up. Here's a building that we're working on, the Energy Tower, which is one of the biggest buildings that you're going to find, guys. Right here is another of one of these energy towers, which we're building up. Again, all of these energy towers, it's just as much as we can, and I will show you why in just a moment. We'll go ahead and level up this one. So now, since we have no more dice rolls, we actually have the ability to modify. Looking at the energy tower, maximum health of garrison forces within 2 adjoining towers, 32.5%, meaning this needs to be within 2 tiles of a garrison force, so of one of your resources that can be attacked. Buildings within 1 adjoining tile are plus 3 levels, tile range +1. So looking at the layout, if you place this in the middle, boom, both these buildings are increased. However, if I place it on the side, you guys notice the difference right there. So if I place it in the middle, these 2 buildings go up. My adjacent buildings are my pillaging or my functional building right here. And then of course the workshop on this side. So the best way to place this once you get it to level 10 plus is actually placing it in one of these corners. So either the right corner or left corner. I am boosting up these 2 buildings as well as the one on the far side. So instead of being in the middle, boosting up 2 buildings, guys, I am boosting up 3 buildings. And remember, it is going to buff my adjacent buildings with the 2 adjoining tiles. So 1, 2 right here, 1, 2 right here, the adjoining tiles. So essentially looking at how the buildings work is going to make a big difference, because if we put it here, it's going to buff up the flower, but this is also going to buff up my Poe coins right here, as well as my building right on the other side. So it's going to buff up my Poe exchange right here. It is going to buff up my Bloodstone, which we want to make sure that is affected by the enemy. Then of course we want to imprison some of the heroes, but again, not too worried about this defensive building because we want to be attacked, guys. Now, the other side of this are the flowers. So after pillaging, loot +10 or loot +20, depending on the level of the flowers. You do get a bonus to hero attack, but cannot stack the effects. So looking here, I have 1, 2, 3 of these prayer flowers, which again, we just built it on the test server, went through a bunch of different scenarios. Ultimately, if you can just get away with building 3 of the flowers, so build 1 prayer flower, 1 energy flower, and then you want to build 1 crimson flower, because cannot stack effects, all 3 flowers cannot stack the effects. Now, one of the benefits that you're going to find in there, though, is the attack rating is, see, 1 flower, 2 flower, 3 flowers, 4, 5, and 6. We have 6 total flowers in here, meaning the attacks are through the roof when it comes to pillaging. But we do have the 3 buffs from the 3 flowers. Remember, they do not stack. However, if you can go in and you can pillage and you can win, this is really about the defense, and that's where we really want to focus on. So here it produces 142 an hour. My resources give me 150% resource yield per hour if I defend a pillage successful. So if I do defend, same with this one down here. So my resource building gives us 11 diamonds an hour. So if I successfully defend a pillage, I get 205% resource yield per hour. So this resource yield on a defense is going to be super high, guys, when it comes to that diamond mine. So we want to stack defenses on all 4 of our resources, meaning that I'm actually going to use kind of a different formation. So I want my resource buildings in the middle of all these to make sure the layout is good. So we got them right in the middle. The one building I want to stack them with is, in my opinion, I would probably stack it with the tower right here to boost up their levels, or I would go double negative tower. So if they actually land here, they're going to get a debuff. If they land here, they're going to get a debuff. But remember, guys, you go around the map clockwise. So I would swap out these 2. Hopefully they can get a debuff and put actually double one of these between all of my flowers. But now, as you can see, the building levels have dropped. So if I place this one over here, my building levels go to 13. Now we want to make sure that if I land here, I'm not going to get this debuff because it's too far away. But ultimately, you want to stack the abilities on both sides. When pillagers step here, they're weakened, their heroes receive more damage, and they're also going to imprison heroes that are previously used. So again, stacking these buildings, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how the stack is going to use. This building is one, again, I would not build. Then, of course, the flowers, you can just modify them and you can stack them. Most players I've seen are stacking them either here on the bottom, or they're stacking all 3 flowers just right on the top, depending on what you're looking for to build this out. So again, when you come into the battle, you're going to come in on this little spot. You are instantly going to get this bloodstone buff until the next battle. So it's going to give you a 30% health reduction and a 30% damage increase. That could lead to a very successful attack right off the bat, guys. So you see I have a bloodstone here defending this building. The only thing is, if you have a bloodstone such as this one, if I go from buff or debuff to debuff, the debuffs do not stack either, which is the reason why I'm thinking even going probably 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even doing 4 bloodstones around here. Again, dropping out this one and then stacking this defensive building right next to where my other buildings are. So actually taking this building, swapping it over here, swapping my bloodstone probably around here, I'd say. That way, if they do have a chance to get rid of the debuff on this attack, they can pick up another debuff before starting on the buildings on this side. So again, stacking the defenses on both sides with your resources right in the middle seems like it's going to be the strongest one. Caveat to this is this building, of course, because it's going to make a very big difference with how strong the enemies are. And this one, again, pillagers with 1 adjoining tile lose dice rolls. We do not want them to lose dice rolls. Similar to the other stone that we have in here, we do not want them to lose dice rolls because we want the maximum amount. We want them to attack. We want to defend. We want to have more opportunities to defend, guys. So I know the event is going to be up. I believe it is going to be tomorrow that it's going to come up on the live servers. Again, just strategically kind of thinking this through. So they're going to come into the building. They're going to pick up this bloodstone buff. Hopefully they attack here with a short roll to try to pick up some diamonds. You can confine heroes in here, which is a new thing. Again, confine Ainz, guys. He is going to be one of the toughest heroes. Either Ainz or you're looking to confine Lucretia, which is going to be really tough. Some players are going with Iran to confine, and then some players are also going with Rowan to confine just because they are such solid support heroes within here. But again, so if we pick up the debuff here and then we move up and attack, if we're getting here to our guild exchange, we are going to have this debuff as well. So when stepped on, all heroes previously used are imprisoned. Not too bad. So if we use a Iran like a comp here, get the imprisonment stone here to attack this one, they're going to be imprisoned and they're not going to be able to use that team comp either, which is what we want to do. We really want to limit the amount of team comps that they're using. So let's see one here. Again, they went flowers. Here we went with a stone, which look at that, level 23. This is a pretty good setup. As you can see, we have the stones next to our resources. We have a little boost right there. As you want to see, successfully defended twice. Again, you're going to get a debuff dropped right in here. But if you move through here, your resources are pretty stacked on the backside, which again, you're really not worried about the resource production. You want to win for defending resources, guys. That is where you're really getting the loot. This lineup, again, did not really pick up too many resources, but I did like how they had the stones right here. So having the stone, again, when you come in on this slot, I'll show you. Boom, we'll pillage this one. So we'll drop in right here, immediately pick up our debuff, which is both of those, the weaken and the bleed from our level 11 defensive building. So you definitely want to stack one right there. And when I move out of the range, well, they stacked. Look at that, it does stack. So minus 30, minus 30. I want to see what that looks like. So you could actually possibly stack two right there. And the next battle, you're almost guaranteed to lose. That's a pretty tough team, and they have Eins in there. Again, I don't even know. That's cool. You can double stack those. There's no way we're going to win this with a Flora comp in there. And look at our hit points, guys. Literally, it goes to nothing. You can almost guarantee to win that first battle, which this is kind of the bad part of it. Most of the time, this is what happens. Wow, we even started with a major debuff. And look at that, guys. The debuff is still there. Because I think we have to lose a battle, don't we? The start of the next battle. At the start of the next battle. So let's see if we still got the debuffs in here. Yeah, look at that. The Eins comp did nothing to us, guys. So there's a defeat. So successfully defended. Very nice. So that gives him a huge resource production for the next hour. 142 he's getting right there. 140% resource yield per hour additional. So that's a big bonus you're getting on there, guys, which is awesome. So this team absolutely destroyed me. The Eins team did absolutely nothing to me, which is kind of funny, kind of backwards, but that's okay. I mean, look at the stacks of defensive buildings right here in the back. So I think this is going to take out my rolls. The roll will be reduced by 2, and we got weakened during battles. There we go. So heroes are imprisoned during battles. Heroes receive 25% more damage. See if we can pick up a couple more of these debuffs. It looks like pretty much all of them are stacking, guys. They do. They stack. That is awesome. Look at the debuffs. That's kind of crazy. I wish I got to attack. I wish I had one more roll. So that's actually not too bad, guys. So if you did 3 flowers to do your pillaging, so do all 3 flowers in one single side, I think that would work very well. So do all 3 of your flowers like this, just on one single side, and then stack defensive buildings on both sides, and just literally let them stack the debuffs on heroes. That's cool. Again, a lot of times, I know we went through, pillaged a couple times, and it seemed like they did not stack. Last time they did not stack. So I hope you guys are learning a lot here. So boom, we got a weaken during battle right off the bat. So we did get that debuff. Got our second debuff right there. And we can pillage confined heroes. We got Brutus and Damon. So that might actually be pretty rough for our team, just because we are running Damon in there. But we'll go ahead and run our Greyborns. And look at that. We got a pretty big debuff there. But once Silas can support everybody up and get them healed, it's usually pretty easy to win the battles here. So see, even there, it didn't take off the debuffs. So we can just absolutely stack. Can't find the hero because I used him. That's okay. We'll see what Pharrell can do up front. So we still got the debuffs on there. It is still showing the debuffs. And again, this is really why we look at it and why we kind of break it down. So we won that one, so we got some diamonds out of that. But the debuffs are gone. So once we win a battle, they are gone. There we go. So we picked up another confine. So the confine one actually might be pretty good. Next time dice roll is thrown, the number is lowered, is reduced. So we're not going to lose rolls. We're just going to lose the damage reduction or the dice roll reduction. So again, stacking up those debuffs, guys. I'm trying to see how many debuffs I can get here. Quite a few debuffs. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like I said, this will be up on the server tomorrow. It seems like if you're going to be pillaging, stacking at least the 3 flowers so you can get the one cannot stack ability, so leveling up 3 of the flowers. I would not build more than 3, but I'm thinking for some of the powerful buildings or some of the buffs you've seen, they were stacking even 2 defensive buildings right here. Might be a little bit of an overkill when they first come in, but ultimately if you want to really do the reduction on those 2, I think it would work pretty well even to stack buildings right at the beginning so they get a massive reduction and then flank the buildings in here with the resource reduction. So at least you know they're going to be getting 1 or they're going to be getting more than 1 reduction within these corners. So kind of keeping those 2 corners all stacked with defensive buildings. It would definitely work. I like the plan. Pillagers within 1 adjoining tower lose dice. We don't want to build this one, so we do not want the ominous tower. Do not build it. We do not want them to lose dice rolls. We want more debuffs. We want more defending. But this one, the dice roll is -2, so they don't lose the dice roll. It's just slower movement. So you want this, again, to try to get heroes to attack your buildings. That's really the goal of the Isle of Gold. That's what I'm going to focus on when it comes to building out my town. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Again, it seems like there's quite a bit to it, and we're still figuring out some of it. I'm going to go through in a little bit once we get a couple more dice rolls, change out some of these buildings. Again, I don't like stacking this many flowers, but I definitely do not like building this building either, even though I know the health is a pretty big boost, but we don't want to lose those dice rolls in there. So again, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.